Welcome to the TheDPost Sports Chat. I'm sports editor Drew Rubenstein. I'm with Ed Owens. We're on Mountaineer Field at Milan Pushkar Stadium. Mountaineers just defeated Georgia State 41-7 in their third game of the season. And Ed, we'll start off offensively. The story is Ford Childress getting his first start of the year after being the third stringer. He gets pushed up to starter this week. What do you make of Ford's debut here?
Yeah, it was a pretty solid debut. Finished with 359 passing yards, a freshman record here at WVU, 3 touchdowns. One not even costly interception, just ugly interception. But as far as a first performance for a redshirt freshman coming out here, there's not too many things you can complain about what Childress did today.
And I think he was 25 of 41 passing, 16 incompletions, probably close to half of those were drop balls, so you can't even really blame Ford for those. That said, it was kind of an ugly game. First half, WVU was kind of in a closer game than anyone anticipated. It's 20-7 midway through the third quarter. Offensively, how much do you can they take out of this game? How do you really grade them, considering they got 21 of their points in the last quarter?
Yeah, and I think it's something we said coming into the game. No matter what happened offensively, as great a game as they could have had, you weren't going to really be able to take too much out of it because Georgia State is a weaker opponent. I think you can be encouraged by what you saw, but I don't think you put too much stock in it. I think they still have a long way to go, and Shannon Dawson said as much after the game, offensive coordinator. He was really frustrated by it, really frustrated by the drops, the inconsistency on the offense. They weren't really able to sustain drives and keep things going, so he really wants to see a lot of improvement for next week in Maryland.
And they're going to have that. That said, in the fourth quarter, they did score 3 touchdowns. Do you think with this young offense, a redshirt freshman quarterback, he's throwing a lot of times to Da'Keil Shorts, a freshman receiver, did they start building some of the confidence and ultimately get what they wanted?
Yeah, I think they definitely got the ball rolling as the game went on. I think they did get a lot of confidence. Ford was really upbeat afterwards. Da'Keil was really positive afterwards. I think these guys saw the potential that they have. I think they were encouraged by what they saw out of themselves. Maybe they did have a little rust early on, but they were able to pick it up and they were able to take advantage, especially of a Georgia State team that kind of looked like they wore down towards the end.
Defensively, Mountaineers at the end of the day, they hold Georgia State to 7 points. So scoreboard-wise, you would think that they performed well. When you actually start looking into the game, they really had a lot of players out and playing out of position. That said, how did the defense do when there was so much shuffling going on?
I think they did pretty well. I liked how frustrated they were afterwards. Like you said, they only gave up 7 points, and the one thing they focused on in every defensive interview that I did after the game today was those 7 points and what they could have done to prevent that one long run that Georgia State had. It's really positive, I think, that they did have so many guys out of position, that they were playing so many different people, and they still were able to play pretty well.
Defensively, looking at it too, this is the third game. They did hold Oklahoma to 16 points. They hold Georgia State to 7 points. They haven't given up a lot of points, but when you look at each game, none of the 3 opponents have been versatile and able to run and pass the ball, and all 3 opponents have gotten at least a couple big plays on the Mountaineers. Is that concerning for WVU now that they're getting into the meat of the schedule?
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely concerning. And like you said, William & Mary isn't known for being a great powerhouse. This is definitely a down Oklahoma team from what we saw. Georgia State, again, so it's not 3 powerhouse offenses that they're going up against. They're getting good results, but they are they're getting hit for big plays, and it seems like that was their vulnerability last year. That was their weakness last year. To a lesser degree, they're still doing it again now.
Ed, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be back next week at Maryland in Baltimore, and historically the Maryland game's proven to be kind of a tilting point, a tilting game that kind of dictates how the rest of the season goes, and could be the case again this season. Thanks a lot for joining us.